It's finally official. Former middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis will take on former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman in the main event of UFC Oklahoma City. 5 rounds in the middleweight division. We last saw Dricus in August of last year, where he lost to Khamzat Chimaev by unanimous decision. We last saw Usman in June last year, where he beat Joaquin Buckley by unanimous decision. So pretty big layoff for the both of them. About 11 months for Dricus, 13 months for Usman. This is the first time we've seen Dricus take such a long layoff. Kamaru Usman has, of course, been pretty inactive in his recent career. Both these fighters have a history with the current champion of the middleweight division, Sean Strickland. Dracus beat Sean Strickland twice, and Kamaru Usman has also beaten Sean early in their career in the welterweight division. And I think the story of this fight will come down to whether Usman can implement his wrestling game. Khamzat, of course, exposed quite a big hole in Dracus's takedown defense in their last fight, and Kamaru Usman's takedowns looked brilliant in his last fight against Joaquin Buckley. The timing was on point. Not really much ground and pound. He kind of held Buckley on the ground for the most part, but he was able to implement his wrestling game really well over 5 rounds against Buckley. And even though Usman is turning 40, there's a rumor that his legs are short and what have you. But I think Usman has what it takes to get this win over Dracus. Dracus will, of course, be the much more imposing figure in the octagon, but a non-weight cut Kamaru Usman, already seen what he can do against Khamzat Chimaev. I think that fight was a draw, and you could even score rounds 2 and 3 for Usman, and he could be the winner of that fight if Khamzat Chimaev didn't get a 10-8 in the first round. So I think there is real value for Kamaru Usman in this fight. Dracus, we'll see what kind of adjustments he's made to his wrestling game, but I think this is an Usman victory written all over it, and he could possibly face Sean Strickland next for the middleweight title towards the end of the year. This fight is happening in July, so maybe the last card of the year. They usually takes place in Vegas. Sean Strickland also trains out of Vegas, so it's gonna make a lot of sense to put that fight there. Home court advantage for Sean Strickland, but we'll see what happens. But huge fight in the middleweight division, big names, and yeah, we were really looking forward to this. The worst kept secret in the UFC, but it's finally happening. Can't wait for this fight. Let's take a look at the rest of the card as well. Brad Tavares versus Mark Andre Barrio. Brad Tavares has, of course, been on quite a losing streak lately. I think he's lost to Gerald Meerschaert and some other dudes. Mark Andre Barrio is coming off a great fight against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. That fight was a banger, but he lost that fight. And he's, of course, been knocked out by Joe Pfeiffer lately. I think he got knocked out by Chris Curtis at one point as well. He lost to Sharap Magomedov. So really the fight of two unks. Kevin Holland versus undefeated Jacob Smith. We'll see what happens there. 29-15 record for Kevin Holland is just abysmal, though he's fought a lot. I think he's also ranked in the welterweight division. So yeah, this is good. This could be a good entry point for Jacob into the rankings, but we'll see what happens. I don't think Jacob Smith is frankly ready for the welterweight rankings yet. Not really fought good competition. Nico Price, Preston Parsons, I think he fought. So we'll see what happens. Jared Cannonier versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Ranked middleweights fighting. That's good. This fight card is going to put some shine on the middleweight division. God knows the middleweight division needs it at this point. There's Nasruddin Imavov should be the rightful number one contender to fight Sean Strickland, but there is no hype on Nasruddin really. Who else is there? Caio Borralho, Joe Pfeiffer, but yeah, the middleweight division needs some shine. Jared Cannonier, of course, lost his last fight to MVP. Christian Leroy Duncan beat Roman Dolidze in a really abysmal fight, so we'll see what happens. Tommy McMillan is back against Alberto Montez. This is a big fight. Tom McMillan is, of course, a teammate of Sean O'Malley's. Had a great debut, so we'll see what happens. Tabitha Ricci versus Fatima Klein. I love Tabitha Ricci. Uh, Alvin Hines versus Alan Fry Jr. Okay. Deanne Barboza versus Veronica Hardy. Veronica Hardy is a decent fighter in the women's categories, I guess. I mean, yeah. Chase Hooper versus Mitch Ramirez is a good fight in the lightweight division. Felipe Franco versus Levi Rodriguez Jr., Alden Correa versus Stuart Nickel, good fight in the flyweight division. Jose Delgado versus Austin Bashi. Jose Delgado is a great fighter, so this is going to be a good one too. Austin Bashi isn't bad himself, so we'll see what happens. Seo Kyun Ko versus John Paul Labosniani, yeah, decent fight too. So this is a great card, amazing matchup in the main event. Dricus Du Plessis, Kamaru Usman in about a month's time. I can't wait. Let's go. Let me know what you all think. Peace.